Well, while Andrew stays with the lions, we have been on a journey of note this afternoon, which has eventually ended up us being with Xidulu, but we've had all kinds of things before then, which we'll get into just now. For now, she's just static, which allows us to do a hello with everybody. So, my name is Tristan. On camera, I've got Theo, which is always nice to be on camera with Theo. So, as I was saying earlier, we had quite an interesting sort of start to afternoon. We went way to the north to try and see if we could follow up on 3 cheetah that had been spotted this morning. And when we got into the area, we managed to find in Xidulu exactly where the cheetah was supposed to be. So I suspect that he chased them, and then from there he just went straight north into the Manyeleti, so he didn't really give us much of a chance. And so then we kind of traveled all the way back to get here. But it's interesting to hear that these 3 cheetah are hanging around a lot more. It's the 3rd sighting of them this week in the sort of Torchwood, Buffelshoek, in Koro, Cheetah Plains area. It's a mother with 2 8-month-old, 7 8-month-old cubs that are around. So I was hoping we were going to get them, but alas, a male leopard, I think, has disturbed them there. They did have an impala carcass, and maybe with all the vulture activity, that's what attracted Xidulu to the area, and he kind of probably spooked them, but we couldn't find any sign of him doing anything to them. He wasn't exactly kind of sitting still. He walked pretty quickly towards the Manyeleti and out. But really nice to see Xidulu. She's obviously, the last time we saw her was not an kind of nice thing at all. And the interesting part about this is that I wonder if maybe she's still got one of the cubs somewhere close to where that whole incident happened. For those of you that weren't aware of what happened, we had a sighting the other day. She was just walking along in a drainage, and the hyena came in and managed to grab one of her brand new little cubs that was probably, I would estimate, about 3 to 4 weeks old, so very, very small still. And at that age, they are unable to climb, they are unable to really fend for themselves, and have very little exposure to what goes on out here. And that little cub just made a fatal error and pretty much walked straight into the hyena when the hyena poked its head into the hole, and the hyena obviously killed it. And so the reason why I say that I think she might still have one is we heard noises of what sounded just like a cub calling after the hyena had grabbed one. And the second reason is that her tracks have been in the exact same area for 3 days now. Now, that could be twofold. It could be that there's still a cub somewhere there that she's, still looking after, or it could be a situation where she's still trying to find the cub that was killed. Sometimes these females, if it's their only cub, they will sit and walk in that area for 4, 5, 6, sometimes as much as 2 weeks, trying to find this little cub if they couldn't see what happened to it. So it could be that, but her general kind of indication of her movement is kind of going back and forth to the same place, which is always indicative of a den site. That area is currently closed after what had happened. It was just to give her some space. And she's quite far from that now, so she's moved a little bit away, but her tracks were there this morning. They were there yesterday afternoon, or heading into that direction yesterday afternoon. So hopefully that's an indication that maybe, just maybe, there's still a little cub somewhere around, which will be really, really good. Obviously in her first litter she also lost a cub, so it's not the first time she has lost a cub, but it's never nice for a leopardess. They obviously go through a phase where they constantly then try and look and find and see what's going on. Now she's got a situation where the lions are just way too close. If she kills an impala, the noise that will make will have those lions on top of her pretty quickly, and she'll lose it anyway. So what we can rather hope for is that she's patient, she sits and she waits a little bit, and then once the kind of sun starts to go down and the lions hopefully get up and maybe move back towards look at that, there we go. Let's see her tummy quickly and just see if we can see anything clearly there. No, not really, can we? It's not the greatest angle. You can see the fur around the teats, but you can't really see if it's matted at all. It's difficult to read anything into that. That just looks like a hairy tummy at this stage. I mean, those little ones are so small, they haven't completely destroyed the hair around the teats just yet. So we can't really make out much from that at this stage. I think it's just going to be a patience game with her until hopefully we see some sort of sign of the cubs or her calling again, and attracting the attention of males. Monica, is she the daughter of Anderson? It's thought to be the case, given that, Anderson was territorial over the area where she came from. But I'm not sure her DNA sample actually has been conclusively proven yet as to who the father is. I need to actually double check that, to be honest with you. I can't remember if hers has come through the test result on hers. But yeah, Anderson is what our best guess would be, given where she comes from and where he was territorial at the time. But you never know with leopards. I mean, like with Tiani, we all thought Tiani was Anderson's offspring, and it turned out through the DNA testing that it was Tingana's, even though Tiani to me still looks like a spitting image of Anderson. If you see them side by side, it's ridiculous how similar they look.